Okay, the first thing we do is on the wrong side of the fabric. We place the towel in the center, just eyeball it. You can pin the towel if you need to. Set your machine on a basting stitch. And sew straight down the middle. There's no need to back tack. And this is just for the towel that we sew down the middle. And you leave about 1/4 of an inch or even 1/2 inch edge on the towel. So I'm going to turn it here now and sew all the way around it. And the main thing is make sure this is flat. It's important that it be flat and not puckered and wrinkled. Sometimes your towel will stretch, and if that happens, you need to just sew to the right spot and then just trim off whatever you don't need. It's very important that you sew all the way around the edge. If you have to skip one of those things, skip down the middle, because that's no big deal. But around the edge is very important. Otherwise, when I wash them before they're inspected, the towels all wad up. Please cut your strings at the fabric. This is a little bit wrinkled, but it'll straighten out. The next thing you do, still on the wrong side, is take the waterproof, cover the towel completely, and sew around it. This may not be the same type waterproof you're using. If you bought the thin PUL at Joann's, it'll be a little bit different, but it's the same principle. And this, when you sew this, you put a very small seam allowance, maybe 1/8 of an inch. This waterproof has plastic laminated in it, and if we sew down the middle or something like that, it ruins it. Every place where the needle punctures it is a place that it could leak, and we don't want that. We also don't want the towel to stick out anywhere, because that's wicking occurs. It draws the moisture out, and then it's away from the waterproof, and we've kind of defeated our purpose then. Again, I'm continuing to use the basting stitch on this. It might not feed through quite as well, so it probably won't look like a basting stitch, so it's okay to leave it on that setting. Again, I did not back tack. When I get back to where I started, I sew right over those stitches for 3 or 4, and that holds it in place. We don't want them to arrive in Africa and fall apart. So that's the main thing. And again, please cut your stitches, the threads at the fabric. So there, that's pretty flat. And then I'm going to move to the serger. Not everybody has a serger, I understand. So if you don't have one, it's fine to send the pad to me just the way I did it, with the towel and with the waterproof, just like that. Okay, the serger, for those who have them, of course, know that it cuts off the excess fabric. So lay it down kind of catty-cornered like this. Make sure the back is flat. And then we start at an end. And I'll explain that in just a little bit. We start at an end. I let the blade, the knife blade, run right along the edge of that waterproof. So I'm taking a bite out of the fabric. Be sure and hold it so that it's flat. Sergers don't like curves, so we straighten the fabric like this by pulling it down so that it makes it straight. Then when you get to this curve, pull it this way. and that'll do good coverage on the curves. You come around the end of the waterproof again with your needle right at the end. Right around that wing, and then straighten it up again. And it's okay to cut off some of the fabric. Then I serge over where I was, and I leave a tail. And the reason I leave a tail is because I'm going to take a tapestry needle. I'm going to thread that thread into that needle. Whoops. I'm actually going to do it, really I am. Right through there. Then I'm going to turn it to the back side, and I'm going to take that needle and go through underneath those stitches, because we want this to hold and we don't want it to ravel. When I'm serging, I use 3 threads. 4 seems to ravel quite a bit more, so I put the needle in the left spot and take out the right thread, and I just use 3 threads. There, I pulled that all the way through. And there you have a pad. It's ready to be snapped. Nothing to it.